All right, man. Hear me out.
What you got
What if Oars was the last
One
Joy
Piece.
Boy?
Like the last reincarnation of Joy Boy?
Of Joy Boy, yeah. So we already know how Luffy is pretty much the modern day Joy Boy, right?
Right.
With Nick, Fruit,
Yeah.
blah, 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 such and such. What
Yeah.
if Oars, no, the same Oars that we got to see on Thriller Bark, the zombie version,
Right.
what if before he died, he was a Joy Boy? Now, I know this sounds
What?
crazy.
Why would you? No.
I know this sounds a little bit crazy.
Yeah. What? Go ahead.
Okay.
I got questions and I got statements.
I got half answers and half statements. But here we go. Roll with me for a second. So you remember Emu? When we first saw Emu, I'm pretty sure it's like the first time we saw him, her, who knows. They were with a huge straw hat.
Yeah.
It would be hella convenient if that straw hat fit on top of Or's head, wouldn't it? Or
Yeah.
so
I mean,
you
he was that, like, the racers, like giants bigger than a giant.
yeah, he was
And
like the Oni, the giant
yeah,
Onis.
he was like part Oni, part something.
And that straw hat was big enough to be on top of his head. And why else is there a huge straw hat that Emu is going to thinking, pondering hard? Honestly,
Yeah.
The last Joy Boy, level 2. You remember when Moria put Luffy's shadow inside of Zombie Oars? He said, "This is a perfect fit." What do you mean by that?
Yo, pause.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah.
The shadow.
Well, he also did. Yeah, okay. Yeah. But he also said, so yes and no, because he also made statements about how he remembers how to stretch. He remembered this, remembered that. But from what I remembered from that episode, or from that arc, is whenever the shadows got placed into bodies that were directly correlated to them, and or like some kind of like had some kind of spiritual connection. So, but they also got their memories. They also got their memories. They got not their abilities. I mean, they did get their abilities eventually, but they got their memories. They got
Like their dreams or their kind of like their passion.
characteristics.
Their characteristics.
So I can't really say that he was saying, oh, like he'd be the last Joy Boy or whatever, because he got Luffy's shadow.
Oh,
so
no,
of course he
not.
remembered
Of
how to
course not.
stretch. He remembered how to do the things that Luffy could do because he got Luffy's abilities.
But hey, one thing, maybe it's negligible. Two things, eyebrow raiser. And let me give you the next thing. The next thing is going to be, well, outside the whole fact that Oars remembering how to stretch and everything, you also got to remember that Oars, or not Oars said it, but Zunisha had said himself that him and Oars used to be friends back in the day. How long back in the day? Oars has been dead for a while. Joy Boy has been out of the world for a while.
They said a few hundred years, right?
Exactly.
Something like that.
It's been a very, very long time. We have no idea. And the Gorosei already confirmed that it's been hundreds of years since the last time Joy Boy's been there.
Are you thinking that Oars had the gum fruit before Luffy?
I think he was the one before. Now, I think there were some in between, obviously, because the Gorosei did say that not every person who had the fruit awakened it. Luffy's just the next one who awakened it. I just believe Oars was the one before him.
So he had...
And then, like, slight spoiler. Every time Luffy does his transformations, I would say from Gear 3 and up, he always has this need, this want to be bigger and better. Every transformation,
like he's pulling on his ancestors.
Exactly. He's now so, like home in on that inner
this is
wheel
gonna be a bad
of the
reference.
fruit.
This is gonna be a bad reference. This is making me think of fucking All for One. Or One for All, excuse me. From My Hero Academia.
A lot of people have done that reference.
Yeah, a lot of the fucking, like, they have the All for, or the One for All powers in them, but they also have their ancestors in the back, so they can use their powers from their ancestors from the past. You know what I'm saying? So if Oars was one of them and he was like, oh, I remember how to do this, I remember how to do that, and Luffy's always constantly trying to be bigger, he could be pulling on the fact that the people before him were giants or were Oni or were, I mean, hell, even Joy Boy, like, there's obviously character renderings, we've never seen him for real, or and I'm not even at the end yet, but still, you still haven't seen him yet. The character renderings that most people agree upon, he's a pretty big guy, you know what I'm saying? So that would make sense, especially because if you remember in Thriller Bark, whenever they were pulling shadows, they were putting them into creations that were formed because they had spiritual connections. So if Luffy and Oars had a spiritual connection because Oars was the last one of the last people to have the gum fruit, or one had the I guess the will of D, because it says the will of D is throughout Joy Boy, everybody. You know,
but you also got to keep in mind that again, slight spoiler, the Gorosei confirmed that with each devil fruit, every time the next person get it, that devil fruit has its own will, and that will can be drawn from the user at the time and then move on to the next user. So think about it like this: we're looking at Ace and Sabo now. Ace had his own will, and when Sabo did get his fruit, he's like, oh, I now have the will of Ace. So
that would make sense that Oars would be directly. And you know what's one thing that really actually got to me, or like I thought about it for a second, is when everybody's shadow was getting pulled into the zombies, right? It took them a good minute to really get their will or their powers or their mentality from the people they took their shadows from, right? It took them a grip. The minute Oars got fucking Luffy's, it was, I'm gonna be king of the pirates.
Exactly, like, dude.
I was like, that was quick. That was really.
But it was like the connection was like there.
But they also mentioned that the stronger the will of the person of like the shadow, and the stronger the connection, the faster the takeover is. So the faster that person transforms into that other person. So I know Luffy obviously has the will of D. He has the fire. He has the Konoha fire, right?
But Oars was a D too.
Oars
the giant.
Oars D big.
Oars D Oni. I don't know. That D could end up anywhere. We don't know. The D could be anywhere. At this point, we don't know. The D's in Law, the D's in Luffy. What we doing?
Yo, the D is in everybody.
But no. It's a small little theory. I know some people consider it to be crazy, but you got, maybe I'm grasping at straws, but maybe we got some. Oda likes to, do some wild things from time to time, and I think this would be pretty interesting if he did pull it out his ass. Hey, by the way, Oars was the last Joy Boy. Do it what you will.
How did Oars die? I forgot. Did they say anything about it? Did they mention?
I'll have to go back. I feel like he may have said it, but I will have to go back definitely.
Because I know Moria just got his body for grave digging, fucking federal crimes. Call the FBI. But I
mean that can lead into a whole nother conversation. What other bodies may we see in the future from Moria? Because that nigga like grave digging. Maybe we may see Roger in the future. But I think they hid Roger's body, or they did something with his body. I'm pretty sure.
They're probably gonna fucking gave it to Orochimaru for a fucking summoning jutsu or some shit.
we may get a fucking ninja war, the final war, where we get all old school fucking people, white bear, all their bodies show up, Ace, zombie. That shit would be fucking, bro. I would be mad. I would legitimately be mad if we see fucking white beard.
Imagine there's a new character that pulls up in the manga with like long hair, kind of snake eyes, kind of weird, a little suspect, and then
a little blush, a little purple blush on his eyes,
and then Luffy's like, oh, I'm gonna get their bodies back. Like it's an arc about getting their bodies back or something, and then it's just like Edo Tensei
first arc I skip. First arc I skip. I promise you,
like, we have Aces. Aces and Roger's body are gonna be like strung up, and Luffy has to go like get them back, and then there's this weird guy with long hair, loves snakes. It's
I would legitimately be upset with that, and I would be like, "You're really ripping off of Naruto right now? Is that what we're doing?" Oh shit!
But that's a good one. That's a good one. I like that one.